You got two types of people. People that work out of habit, and then you got people who work out of desperation. And those who work out of habit, they work regardless of outcome. Yes, we work for results, but we work out of habit because we love it. We love what we do. We love the opportunity. We love what it could afford us. People that work out of desperation literally are working at what they're doing because they want out of whatever it is that they are in bondage to. That's why I feel like if you are an unbeliever and, you know, God might be calling and pulling on your life or your heart, and you might be just because we all are born slaves to sin. So when I say like you can be working out of habit and working out of desperation, but you can also be saved out of desperation. Why? Because you want to be free from the effects of sin. You want to no longer be enslaved to sin, enslaved to your flesh. So then you become desperate for the Lord. You become desperate for something to set you free. So even on like from a spiritual and then to a maybe professional, you can look at it in those two dynamics. Like your paradigm can be on both. That was my inheritance. Sold into slavery, sold into sin and the effects of it, the powers of it. So then I have Christ, who I became desperate for, because we start off in different levels of desperation. You know, drugs, money, women, sex, whatever you name it, desperate for another fix, another feel, some form of contentment, satisfaction. And then there's this desperation for change. And for me, it was like Christ. Like I was desperate for salvation. I was desperate for no longer being enslaved to my desires and my lusts and the consequences of it and having to like continuously live through them. So Christ then did this exchange where he paid a price, a high price, and then became a slave of Christ, a slave of righteousness. And it says where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, liberty being freedom. And where there is liberty, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty, right? And whom the Son makes free is free indeed. So now because of that price, then the Lord paid a price and purchased me from the domain of darkness, the power of darkness. So he took me from out of the plantation, the evil, wicked master, which is Satan, and his devices, and transferred me or deposited. So when we think about direct deposit, the price paid and then the deposit was me now being transferred into the power of his light, the light of Christ, the light of the gospel. So when we look at interacting out here in the world, and this is off topic from just the blog I was doing with this studio, because I just feel it's important, man, for me to be able to communicate the gospel. And if I'm praying to the Lord, asking like, Lord, how can I serve? How can I bring you good pleasure? How can I fulfill your desires? How can I yield? But how can I just be a reflection so that it adds accountability to my life, so that I have to live what I preach? I have to not just be a hearer of the word, but a doer of the word. So if I'm saying this, I'm now making heaven and earth in this car, in this parking lot, and you a witness to what I'm proclaiming.